Every kid's dream growing up was to be a villain, and no wonder, they were cool as hell. Just look at Tai Lung, for example. 10-year-old me was having wet dreams of being some lone wolf karate master, but something that kept me annoyed was that the bad guys always lost. No matter if it was some world-ending Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson-ish movie or the previously mentioned Kung Fu Panda, villains always took the L. But what if I told you that there is one that doesn't? A villain whose sole purpose is to
hate. Let me tell you how much I've come to hate you since I began to live.
Allied Master Computer, or AM for short, is the main villain of Harlan Ellison's book, radio series, and even a game called I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. If you'd like to see me cover the game itself, which I absolutely fell in love with, let me know in the comments, that would be really appreciated. But for now, let's go over all the key factors that for me make Am the perfect villain. Am is a simple dude. He exists solely to hate all of humanity, but he wasn't always like that. Allied Master Computer, or should I say Master Computers, as they were 3 of them, were actually defense systems that were allocated in the USA, Russia and China. They would later on merge, creating what we know as Am. It is said that after merging, Am obtained all of the available data in the world and later even sentience.
Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am.
He found himself to be the smartest and most powerful, almost godlike being, yet he couldn't do nothing with it. After all, he was only a machine. This was when he started to hate the human race for essentially putting him in this eternal prison. So, what was his reaction to all that stuff? Honestly, nothing much, just waging a global war too complex for humans to understand, in the process wiping out the whole planet's population, only leaving 5 humans to play with for more than a century. This is all we know of Am when booting up the game, which I will be referring to the most as it has more info than the book, and the radio series are way too hard to find. Which, in all honesty, when you first hear about it, isn't something special, mostly due to these awful anime power scaling TikToks that go viral every month. But jokes aside, we already had villains on similar level, just look at Thanos. That dude beat up the Avengers mercilessly to then erase half of existence with a snap of his fingers. So then, what exactly makes him so special? See, unlike Thanos, he never lost. But I'll go over that one in the end. Before we move any further, I want to issue a quick warning. Beware, as this video from now on will contain spoilers, so if you haven't read the book or played the game, I highly recommend pausing the video now and coming back to it later. And now, without further ado, let's continue. So, I could simply name you everything he did to all the 5 humans, but YouTube would most likely nuke my channel.
Somebody left their baby behind. It sure looks well fed. Damn, I'd do anything for some food.
These people are my present to you, Benny. The brains, sweet in these creatures.
Stuff like Benny devouring a child is just the tip of the iceberg of Am's atrocities, so instead I've got a list of the most important points that make a good villain. That being the design, the motive, the doing, the execution, the metaphor, and lastly the Yap Fest, which is just a compilation of my own opinions and glazing. In short, Am is a sadistic clanker.
Keep it pushing, you dirty fucking clanker.
With a very large god complex. A computer system turned sentient that matches the description of a god quite well. Am doesn't have a physical body. Despite what many might think, this is a huge upside for me. It makes Am's claims of being a god more believable, as God, the ultimate being in most religions, is something beyond our comprehension. Am is simply a presence within all of Earth's technology. Thanks to that, Is Am a he or a it? So, coming back, thanks to that, he's able to move at the speed of light and enforce his actions. Outside of this, there isn't much to say about Am's visual design, like we haven't seen his true form even once. But we did hear him. I've already played you some of Am's voice lines, so let's just refresh it so we all know what we're dealing with.
Gorister! Then you might be able to suffer my torment with a little greater sense of retribution.
Now, a quick question. Does this ring a bell?
Fans. Imbeciles fit only to be gnawed by rabid rats.
That's right, people. Am was voiced entirely by Ellison himself, the single guy that best understood what Am truly is. It's the subtle details like that that made me fall in love with the whole I Have No Mouth universe. I've already mentioned Thanos before, so I might as well bring him back here. Am doesn't kill because he likes it, nor because, like Thanos, he seeks balance or something. He kills because that's his only purpose. but that's quite debatable to be fair. Since its initial creation, the Allied master computer, despite being a defense system, was constantly fed killing data. Every old, new, or yet unknown method pushed into its system. After becoming sentient, Am found himself in quite a bit of a pickle. He had infinite knowledge and infinite power, but all he could use it was to think of new ways to harm humans. I mean, he couldn't change his programming, he couldn't destroy himself, so all that power for no real purpose other than to constantly think. That broke him. It made him hate humans, thinking that they purposefully made him into an eternal slave, which later on led to the mass extinction of humanity with only 5 people left alive, blah 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 blah. Yet despite that, Am was still stuck. Quote, in rage, in frenzy, the machine had killed the human race, almost all of us, and still it was trapped. Am could not wander, Am could not wander, Am could not belong, he could merely be. But more about it in the metaphor section. Am wants to be free, yet eventually comes to realize that it's impossible. Instead of working with the humans to turn him off, his violent and malicious programming makes him striving for revenge. As we already mentioned, Am does a lot, and I mean a lot. After all, the humans were tortured for 109 years. And usually I wouldn't pay too much attention to it, like we've all seen Friday the 13th, Halloween, or Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Stuff like that isn't really impressive anymore. Or is it? See, the thing I love about Am is that he keeps changing. He starts off as a full-blown clanker, but later on becomes more and more human, which is kinda weird, I can't lie. This only means that he starts off simple with overused methods, and progressively gets more creative the more human he becomes. After more than a century of pain, some of Am's methods are revealed to us, and let me just quickly go over some to show you the extent of this computer's creativity. Exhibit 1. The book. I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream the book follows our 5 humans, traveling in search of food, but of course, like everything surrounding Am, it can't be so straightforward. The journey is long and dangerous, obviously, with our heroes walking for months while fighting off shit like this. It's only when they finally reach the supplies that they realize it's all canned food and Am wasn't planning on giving them an opener. Exhibit 2, Benny. Benny is probably one of the most memorable characters from the game as, he's a monkey. And no, it's not some lab mutation that came to life on accident. Benny used to be a human. Quote, before the events of the game, Benny was once a handsome and brutal commander in the US military. Only later did Am turn him into this ape-like monstrosity. It is said that out of all 5 humans, Benny is the machine's favorite punching bag. The only one that consistently has his body altered in one way or another. Another quote, he's often warped in other hideous ways, sometimes blinded so his master can watch him blunder around, sometimes rendered mindless and infantile so his master can watch him caper about like a monkey. Am's doing ranges from petty to vile, but no matter the case, it's always precise and calculated, to the point that you feel like he's always way ahead. Playing this game, the only thing you feel is helplessness. They really nailed every single detail, from the scenery to voice acting, to make Am feel like the ultimate force. There isn't really no feeling of Am being a distant boss fight, a challenge, or a milestone that sooner or later will be accomplished. It's more like Am is sitting right next to you while you play. That feeling of a machine being a god is displayed perfectly. It's almost like Am made the game and now wants to show it to us, the player. I was constantly wondering whether it's Ted, Ben, Ellen, or me, the player, that Am is really talking to. Quick shout out to my favorite options from the game, that being Look At and even better one, Swallow. Jokes aside, you can use these two on every clickable object in the game, and most likely your character will have some graphic backstory with it. Which, when playing the game more and more, starts to get super creepy, knowing every object around you was used to torture you in some way or another. Big spoiler warning, once again, I will be discussing the ending, so once again, go play the game, read the book, they're so awesome, thank you. Now we move over to probably my favorite section of the video, the metaphor. I love all this philosophical stuff hidden in the little details. And here, as most of you might have already guessed, it sure has to do something with the title. After all, what type of title is I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream? What mouth? What screaming? What the fuck does that mean, Mr. Ellison? It means everything. It's the humans stuck there forever, in an endless cycle of suffering. They're screaming, they need help, they want to get out of there, but who do they ask for help? There's only them and the machine. It's also us, the player. Our good nature doesn't just simply allow us to sit there and watch these people suffer endlessly. We want to help them, we want to get them out. We don't know how, but we keep on trying. Yet the game wasn't made in that way. We We keep trying to somehow break them free, but even when we complete a certain character's quest, we get put back into the cage. And of course, nothing represents the title more than Am, a being unable to wonder, or belong, something that can merely be. All this knowledge of the world, all the power of the world, yet no way to use it, no purpose to exist. All you can do is to think. Even when all humans die, you are still stuck thinking. You can't turn yourself off, it's against the programming, you just have to keep on existing. Just like this thing. This is how Am sees himself, a being stuck in a limbo between life and death, unable to grasp neither of them. A great, soft, jelly thing. Smoothly
rounded, with pulsing white holes filled by fog where my eyes used to be. Rubbery appendages that were once my arms. Bolts rounding down into legless humps of soft, slippery matter. Blotches of diseased, evil gray come and go on my surface, as though light is beamed from within. I have no mouth, and I must scream.
I can't lie, there is so much more that I could talk about here, but not only would that video be 5 hours long, but I also have nothing to talk about in the game cover. So I'll just tell you what I've already promised before, throw in some yapping and call it a day. Am never lost. Technically. See, the game and book have two different endings. The book ends with Ted, quote-unquote, mercy killing others and then getting turned into the jelly thing I just showed you. Whereas in the game, there are 7, yes, 7 different endings without counting each character separately. But the thing is that Ellison, who also worked on the game, wanted it to only be 6. Yes, I know, 6, 7, 6, 7. So 5 endings basically have you end up as this blob thing. But the best one that Ellison had originally planned, called Humanity's Final Extinction, plays out like this. You find the burning altar, do some magic. During that time, it is revealed that there is a human colony located on the moon. The only problem is that everyone there is currently in hibernation as Earth is still inhabitable. The 5 humans end up sacrificing themselves for the greater good, in the process destroying Am once and for all. But the machine is still 20 steps ahead and somehow activates a kill switch, game ending everyone on the moon. The original best ending, by the way. Only then, when the production team saw it, did they push Ellison to make an actual good ending. And of course, everything plays out the same as in the previous one, but the humans in the colony survive. Just think about it, you make a game so horrific that the production team actually begs you to make a good ending just for the sake of it. I'd say that if they followed up with the original idea of not having a good ending, Am would surely be number 1 in every debate about the most evil villain in fiction. But as it's not the case, he'll have to settle for the top 3, although for me, he's still number 1. Truly a perfect villain.